Our first question comes courtesy of Masterfar, who asks, what was my first Transformer? That'd be Cybertron Crumplezone. In fact, my mom has a photo in a scrapbook of me unboxing it. Sadly, I have not been able to find that photo, so I can't show it to you. A-Man1998 wants to know what the first season of Kamen Rider I watched was, and also what are my hopes for the future of the series in terms of story, themes, and gimmicks. The first season I ever tried watching was Kamen Rider Rose, but the first one I saw start to finish was Kamen Rider 01. As for future seasons, I'm not sure about the stories and the gimmicks, but I know I'd like to see themes like maybe say Urban Legends and Cryptids, Power Tools, maybe some board games too, those would be pretty cool. Honestly, considering Kamen Rider Gav's junk food theme, it feels as though nothing's off the table. No pun intended, obviously. Kid Catastrophe would like to know what my favorite memory related to this channel is. You ask a difficult question of me, Mr. Kit Kat, because it's honestly hard to pick one. There have been the collab reviews I made with Dr. Lockdown and Silverfoil, my studio series Starscream review, making the best of list for 2024, the Gundam Marker tutorial video, and of course my Kamen Rider Blockies review. Those have all been highlights to me. Though if there's anything on my bucket list as a YouTuber, it's getting recognized by a complete stranger offline. Evan Bonkowski 8592 wants to know what my holy grails are, and thanks for congratulating me on this milestone. And again, it's hard to pick just one because there are so many toys out there that I want to get. The shortlist includes Optimal Optimus, Transmetal Megatron, more specifically his Armada Redeco into Predacon, G2 Dreadwing, again just the mold, any color scheme would do, though the original G2 colors would be preferable, Mammoth Nemesis Prime from Universe, the Autojetter, Energon Optimus Prime, again just the mold, any color scheme, and of course an apartment big enough for me to display my entire collection in and live comfortably. Silverfoil wants to know what my favorite ice cream flavor is. And while I am lactose intolerant, I will say that I am of the vanilla persuasion or anything that's citrus flavored. Honestly, if it weren't for the fact that Rainbow Sherbet technically isn't ice cream, it's sherbet, I would say Rainbow Sherbet's my favorite. Zephon Fitz wants to know what the biggest Transformer on my wishlist is. And that's kind of a tricky answer because, well, I don't like the bigger Transformers, mostly because I've got a limited space to display everything, and if I wanted to get bigger things, then I'd be able to keep fewer of them. The biggest thing I want to get and keep at the moment is the upcoming Age of the Primes Bruticus. Though I will admit, this is the first year I've ever been tempted by the Titan class, and I would like at least a week with a HasLab Unicron just so I can form my own opinion on it. But that's just research so I can determine whether or not I agree with Theo or Dr. Lockdown, not because I actually want to own the damn thing. Sobdale asks, was Beast Machines a great series of the greatest series? Choose one. The autocorrect on your device changing or to of aside, the answer to your question is... And that, my friends, is why you never accept lobster thermidor or marmalade shots from the ghost of Vincent Price. Wait, what was I talking about again? Genesis193ANB wants to know if I've ever seen a video by the Nostalgia Critic, and yes, I have. He's actually what inspired me to do YouTube. Heck, we even live in the same state, though I haven't really watched him since the Change the Channel docket a few years ago. But I don't say that to drag up old ghosts or whatever, it's just when some creators let you down, there's no going back. Dr. Lockdown wants to hear what my top 3 holy grails are, more specifically, white whales that are well and truly beyond my grasp. That's again a tricky one. There's Bathing Ape Green Optimus Prime, that's definitely one of them, it is super rare. There's mass production type Noise Maze from Cybertron / Galaxy Force. And, you know what, maybe a Hell Warp, just so I can have that Thrilling 30 Skybite mold for a comparison video in the future. Edward Steenkolk 9837 asks, in what ways does Michael Bay's 2007 Transformers film reflect post-9/11 anxieties about military power, technological dominance, and foreign threats? And how does this affect the portrayal of the Autobots and Decepticons as allegorical figures? Okay, I've got a bit of a confession. I've never seen that movie before in my life, and I'm not really sure that I want to. I mean, generally speaking, from what I know about the Transformers movie from 2007, I guess it could be seen as allegorical. I mean, both the Autobots and the Decepticons are aliens. They're foreigners to this planet. They have greater technology and military power than we do. But if anyone was actually trying to make that film allegorical, then the allegory was completely buried by the sound of the film shouting, "America! Fuck yeah! Coming again to save the motherfucking day, yeah, America!" without any self-awareness. Next question is, Oh, yeah, the post I made asking people 4 questions only got 12 comments, meaning we only got 12 questions. My replies to commenters confirming that their questions had been added notwithstanding. So I'm gonna bend the rules and ask myself questions now because I don't want the video to be this disappointingly short. Though I really only have myself and my inconsistent upload schedule to blame for this. First question of the batch. Have you seen Transformers 1? Yes, and I loved it. It was such a great film, and I hate the fact that it underperformed at the box office. Second question of the batch. Favorite Kamen Rider? I don't know, that's a tricky one, though it's probably gotta be Gav. Granted, that might be some recency bias talking, but at the same time, it's been a pretty good show all around. The suit aesthetics have been colorful and absurd, but at the same time, it hasn't shied away from super dark subject matters. And true to the spirit of Kamen Rider, it handles these subjects in a way that is both optimistic, but also very tasteful for the most part. And a lot of Western media, especially kids shows, could learn a thing or two from this series. Third question, what are a few of my hot takes? Okay, so I have 2 hot takes when it comes to Transformers. Firstly, I prefer Cybershark from the Transmetal 2s to Skybite. And secondly, I think Transformers Earthspark is better than Transformers Animated. Huh? What the Oh my god! Okay, I know you're all grabbing pitchforks and torches and running towards my location at this very second, but just hear me out for a second. Transformers Animated, it isn't just good, it's great. But at the same time, I don't think the actual animation of the series has aged all that well. A lot of the movement in the series looks like it needs more frames. It wasn't as noticeable on CRTs back in the 2000s, but in today's technology, it does not look great. I know this is rich coming from a PNG tuber who couldn't even be bothered to animate his own lips moving, and I really have no defense for that, but at the same time, the art style, the writing, and the performances all deserve better animation to back them up. Oh dear god, I think I criticized the show too much. The fuck you say?! And while I have no problems with the story, and it definitely doesn't suffer from a lack of passion, I mean, look at all the references to the past in this series, I can't help but feel as though Transformers Earthspark Season 1 did more with fewer episodes. And I definitely understand why the TFA fans constantly ask for the series to come back. After all, just knowing that you could have gotten more of what you love is enough for some people to go feral, myself included. The truth is, if you want a proper conclusion to Animated, we've already got one. Officially speaking, Endgame Part 2 was the official end of Transformers Animated. But as any Sonic the Hedgehog fan will tell you, the sane ones at least, whenever the official media drops some slack, the fans are all too willing to pick that up. We've had multiple unofficial fan continuations of TFA, from TF Nation's trial and error graphic novel, to YouTube's very own Kian Carlisle doing in-depth breakdowns of the plans for Transformers Animated Season 4. But for us fans of Earthspark, there's nothing like that out there. We don't know what the plans for Season 3 were gonna be, if they were even made in the first place, and according to my research, there's a minimum 1 to 5 year period on the NDAs that these writers have to sign, so I might be looking at a minimum half-decade before I can become the Kian Carlisle of Transformers Earthspark. If Maycat doesn't come back within that next half-decade to write a comic continuation of Earthspark, then I'm going to be the one writing it. Mark my words. And at the end of the day, Earthspark is only better than Animated in my opinion. There's nothing saying that you have to share my view on this. I love the Terrans, especially Twitch and Nightshade, and I don't want their story to end on a sour note with the fandom. Especially because I want Generations toys of these characters. Come on Hasbro, make the Terrans new mainstays in the series, just like Bulkhead before them. It's what we all want. Okay, maybe not what we all want, but I wouldn't complain. If you couldn't tell, most of that answer was recorded before Earthspark Season 4 was revealed recently. I'm still standing by what I said about wanting new Generations toys of the Terrans, and also the fact that I am extremely sad it ended on a sour note with the fans. But for the rest of that, well...
That one didn't age quite so well.
Does It Figures have any lore? And what the heck is Maya exactly? No. It Figures does not have any lore. Now, that's not to say I didn't plan to give it lore at one point. More specifically, some of my earliest subscribers may remember there used to be a portal in the hallway outside my bedroom, and originally that was going to be Maya's origin story. She came through the portal in the hallway. At the time, I wanted to emulate more successful creators like Linkara, but by the time I actually had the skills I'd need to realize such a story, I'd made a few important realizations of my own. Firstly, I really didn't like it when Linkara did that. And that's because I felt it missed the point of why I was there. I was there for Linkara and the way he expressed his opinion through jokes, not his battles with elder gods. Now, I'm not opposed to creators who want to do that. Hell, I am myself quite the storyteller, and there's a lot of stories I want to tell. But I don't feel as though my low-budget YouTube series is the format that they need to truly thrive. As for what Maya is, well, there's no real answer. At the time I was introducing Maya to It Figures, I was also working on a comic called the Zaiten Chronicles, and the main focus of the series was going to be on these robots that were like a fusion of the Matoran from Bionicle and the Robot Masters from Mega Man called the Anagear. The story would follow Amari Saul, the last Anagear, who must travel across an island paradise to collect the 8 MacGuffin masks that were left behind by the gods and use their elemental power to save her species, while evading capture at the hands of the Primagear. It's a story I still want to tell someday, but its relevance to It Figures comes in the fact that Maya was originally supposed to be one of the Anagear, a survivor that had escaped via the portal. I don't remember if I have this right or not, but I think I actually called her an Anagear in an old episode of It Figures. So I guess canonically she is an Anagear, but if you have a different interpretation, that's totally fine with me. In the grand scheme of things, I think what she is doesn't really matter all that much. What is important to clarify though is that within the canon of It Figures, Maya is not my girlfriend. Mostly because that's cliche, A, and B, it makes me look like a bit more of a weirdo than I really am. Aside from Metroid and Pizza Tower, what other video game series do I like? Well, apart from those two, I am also quite a big fan of Sonic the Hedgehog, maybe I'll even play some fan games on the channel someday, and I do rather enjoy Mario RPGs. I've almost completed Mario and Luigi Superstar Saga, just need to grind out a few more health upgrades so I can tackle Cackleta's soul, and I've also quite enjoyed a few of the GBA Castlevania games, so maybe we'll do a few playthroughs of those on the channel someday. And I've also fallen head over heels for Look Outside, so look forward to me making a few video essays on the characters from that game in the future. I'm going to guess she's excited too. Next question, why does it take me so long to make videos these days? Well, first of all, I have a job, so that takes priority over doing YouTube. Making videos requires video making equipment and figures, and those I can't have without money. The other reason is because I don't feel as though I have as much to say as I used to. I prefer making video essays that have something of an emotional core to them. You know, something in the vein of Designing For, or The Geek Critique, or Liam Triforce, except with toys instead of video games. And I'm very aware that's a wee bit hypocritical, given what I literally just said about storytelling in reviews, but these videos express my opinion. Opinion is rooted in emotion, and emotion helps you to understand why I feel the way I do about the review subject. I do also make shit posts occasionally just to keep my editing skills sharp. Skills are like muscles, and you gotta use them or lose them. Last question before we wrap up. What motivates me to make episodes of It Figures? This is a hard question to answer because it's not just one thing that motivates me. I guess the thing that motivates me first and foremost is genuine positive feedback from my viewers. My favorite comment I've ever received on this channel came from 5 years ago on my Tailgate and Cyclonus review, which basically said that they appreciated that I was keeping the flame of Volta YouTube alive. And stuff like that is part of what keeps me motivated to keep doing videos. Another part of it is the figure itself. It might sound weird, but some figures just forced me to sit down and write videos about them. Other times I'm just freestyling until I've got a finished video on my hands. Other times it's the story of how a toy or a toy line happened, and others still are the results of anecdotes from my own personal collecting journey as a child, as limited as they may be. Ultimately, what I think is most important is that every single episode of It Figures that I've ever made has been the result of my passion. Granted, it's a hobby I'm passionate about, and a hobby that's a debatable waste of time at that, but at the same time, it still always comes from the heart. And I hope that comes across for all of you watching these videos. And I also hope it's what ultimately sets me apart from all the other toy reviewers out there. And I think that's the perfect note to end this video on. Again, I'm so sorry that I had to pad this video out with my own original questions, but hopefully you learned something from it. And admittedly, it was an awful lot of fun to make this video, so hey, maybe we'll do another Q&A when I reach 1,000 subscribers or something. And until then, this is Firebite27, over and out.